Hey, my name is Schuyler. I'm the founder of Reach Fat Loss and Fitness. Last year alone, our clients lost over 1,300 pounds. This year, that number is going to be even higher. And I'm so stoked because today I get to share and shout out my man Kevin. Kevin came into our program and within 9 months not only dropped 51 pounds, but reversed his diabetes and built some awesome strength in the gym. And the cool part is he did all of this while traveling a ton for work, while competitively barbecuing, and also while not counting calories, not doing any cardio, and not cutting out any of the foods he loved. And so in this video, we're going to talk a little bit about his experience. Let's get into it. All right, guys. So today we have Mr. Kevin Sides with us today. Kevin, you crushed it, man. You crushed it.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah, about 51 pounds in 9 months' time. And I mean, you went all in from day one. Like, you were extremely coachable throughout. You executed. You were insanely consistent. You mind just giving like a little rundown of where you were at before we connected for the first time?
So where I was at was the prior year before I'd been diagnosed with type 2 diabetes. Doctor had put me on metformin first, and that wasn't helping. Then I went on Ozempic. So that's where I was at. Before I started the program, I'd lost almost 30 pounds from the Ozempic, and I kind of plateaued. And I started holding it like 226, 225 around that area. And I felt like crap. The medications, the combination of metformin and Ozempic, if you're not familiar with it, to me, it just tore my stomach up. Like, on the Mondays, I would take the shot. I wouldn't go anywhere for a couple hours because I knew I'd be heading to the bathroom. The metformin was even worse. So the combination of the two it was horrible. And then you got to the point where that was right when Ozempic took off as the weight loss miracle drug. So it was getting harder and harder, number one, to get it. So, you were all the time, are you still going to be able to get it or you're not? And then there was the insurance company started stepping in and like saying, we're not going to pay for it, even though mine was legitimate for what I was doing it for. And it did bring my A1C down. When I started this whole thing, my A1C was like the highest it got, and it was up close to 9. And before I started the program with the Ozempic, it had gotten down to, I think, 4.9 was the lowest it got, but I was still having all the issues. So we had gone on a trip in May. I got back. I still, looking at pictures, I still didn't like the way I looked. Still didn't feel great. I was tired all the time. And I just told my wife, I'm like, I got to do something. I'm fortunate that Amy lives in my neighborhood or lives in my town. And, the wives had all seen her pictures on Instagram. And my wife just said, why don't you try this program? It seemed to work for Amy. What else you got to lose? So that's when I reached out to you, and it's all been great since.
Yeah, heck yeah. Was anything surprising to you when you started? Like, and obviously weight loss culture has its own set of rules of what you should be doing. Were you surprised of like different things that you maybe did have to do or didn't have to do, or like any different expectations when you were in the program versus before you came in?
I was amazed at the stuff I thought that I was eating that was better for me. Really wasn't, because of all the processing that goes into it. I had gotten on a big kick of eating like these supposed healthy bars for breakfast in the mornings, or that's what I have for a meal. And you just don't realize how processed they are. And to me, it's easier now, the way I eat now, just eating healthy whole foods versus doing all that. And I'm a label reader now.
Yep.
Never thought that would have happened, because I came from a background. I did competitive barbecue contests.
Mm-hmm.
And so, our biggest ingredient in most of those contests is parquet squeeze butter in the blue carton and brown sugar.
Yeah.
And I would say that was probably the eye-opening part of the nutrition, is what I think was what really got me. And then my biggest surprise through the whole thing was how addicted I got into the working out.
Yeah. Yeah, that's your strong point. I mean, I feel like every area is your strong point because you really took it on, and I think you did a really good job at integrating it into your lifestyle too, as opposed to like trying to follow this plan and throw everything in your life out. In terms of the workouts though, what was your favorite part, or what is your favorite part
of the workouts?
Yeah.
Chest day probably is my favorite. Just the getting in there and, looking at our app that we use and seeing, what you did the week before on that same, and just like, putting your goal as, I got to do one better, even if it's just one rep better. That way you can see the improvement every week. Now, I have had the weeks where I just couldn't do it. It's just, something was there and I couldn't do it. But the mindset that you have now is like, it's okay. I got next week to improve it again. I look forward to improving every week, doing something just one more step.
What do you think was what allowed you to commit so heavily when you joined? Like what, because, consistency is a weak point for a lot of people, and that's like the most important part of all of this. So what do you think it was that helped you do that throughout?
I think it really kicked into me probably after the second week when I had lost like 10 pounds. And I was like, this works. And even after the first week, I felt so much better. I was sleeping better. I wake up now every morning, 7 days a week. I'm wide awake at 4 o'clock in the morning and I'm just ready to go. I can't, I got to get up. I got to feed that, my high now is getting up and getting ready and go to the gym. So
yeah,
that's where mine's at. But it was that how quickly, and I know everybody's different, but I lost that 10 pounds really quick. And I'm like, this isn't hard. And it wasn't hard this season. I did a 24-hour fast my first week and it wasn't hard. And I think that was I just realized right then, this isn't hard. I can do it.
What was that expectation coming in with the fasting? Because you definitely took the fasting on. You made it so it was much easier. Yeah. Did you have any hesitation coming into the program with it?
I did. I mean, I had never fasted before. I had done some intermediate fasting, but I'd never done it before, and I never really. I didn't have a negative or a positive. I think I just came into it with a clear mind. Like, this is what it takes. I'm going to trust the process. This is what I need to do. I'm going to do it. And then, like I said, after that first 24-hour, and I'm like, well, this isn't bad at all. Then we started doing the longer ones, and I'm like, oh, this isn't bad at all. And I was seeing results. Yeah. The results is just nothing but pure adrenaline to me when you get that part of it. I actually had to stop getting on the scale. I was to that point. Yeah.
Just like every day for the fasting. I mean, you had a couple weeks in a row where you hit 72s, I remember, and then was it 4 days or did you hit 5 days?
No, I never hit 5. It was just short of 96.
Okay.
Was my longest. I think I did I went back and looked last week. I think the longest I did was like 88.
And how was that for you?
That one was good. I've said it before. I had some of my best workouts that week.
Yeah.
Even this week when I was at 72 when I did my morning workout Wednesday morning, and it was, like I said, it was one of my better workouts that I had in a while.
Yeah.
It's just the clarity you get, especially like in that going between that second and third day. I travel a lot and I spend a lot of time in my car, and it's just the stuff you think about, just like, oh yeah, I didn't think about that. And I think a lot, like, especially when I'm driving now, I'm thinking about, all right, what do I need to do next? Like this morning after my work, when I was driving down here this morning, after my workout, I did chest this morning and I was like, okay, what should I be doing better? What could I have done better next? Or at night, if I'm just scrolling, I'm like, you'll see something like, well, maybe I should try this exercise. And then I'll start researching, is it really, or is this just internet bait trying to get me to do something? So I'm really focused in on that part of it.
Yeah. So you're taking it on, you're thinking about it, which it sounds crazy, but a lot of people don't do. Like, it's just the blind following as opposed to like really using that extra space and time to use thought to put thought into it. So that's awesome. Give us a little picture into where you're at now. 51 pounds down, like what's different for you?
Like yesterday was a perfect example. We had a big neighborhood cookout and I did all the meat for the cookout, and it was a potluck. So there's tables full of cookies, cakes, all of that. And the only thing I ate was the protein and some vegetables. And I didn't think twice about it. That's all I wanted. The old me would have been, I'd have started with the sweets and then moved over to the other table.
Real quick on that, that's the difference there, because it's so interesting being on that side where a lot of people starting are like, oh, that sounds awful, like to not have any of the sweets and everything, but it's such a difference when you're there and it's actually what you want to do. Your taste buds are different, what you crave is different. So yeah, that's cool.
If I do get to a point where I crave a sweet, then I'll go get something, but it's small.
Yep.
Where instead of where you're getting 2 or 3 scoops of ice cream, you're only getting a kid cup.
Mm-hmm.
And that usually satisfies me for 4 or 5 weeks until it happens again. I think it's worse if you just say, no, I'm not going to eat it.
Agreed.
And just, it's your reward for all your hard work in a way to me now.
And you have the freedom to do that as opposed to like, I can't because I'm on a diet. So it's it's not as enticing because you can have it technically anytime that you want to.
Yeah.
So your energy's a lot higher because you're getting up early.
Oh, yeah.
Same time every day, 4 a.m.
Yeah.
What else is different? You're strong. You're super, super strong.
I'm getting stronger. I'm definitely getting stronger. Even I have a torn bicep in my left arm. I did that way before I started this. Even this arm's, it's still weaker than my right one, but it's It's pretty close. It's within 5 or 10%. The only thing that my new goals now is to work on my cardio stamina. That's not where I thought it would be. I do a lot of walking. I don't want to run more than 3 miles, but I like to be able to run a 5K. That's one of my goals I'm putting out there. But yeah, strength is through the roof. Just my outlook on everything. Like I used to be at work, even all my employees would tell me they used to be scared to call me when something was bad happened. And now they're like, it's so easier to call you now because you're not going to feel like you're going to fly off the handle at us and think things through a lot better. 9 months in, I had blood work a couple weeks ago. All my numbers were just like through the roof. A1C was still down. I think it was 4.9 again. 9 months off all the medication.
Yep. It's amazing.
My triglycerides were the lowest they've been in years.
Yeah.
It's good. My doctor's even starting to ask me more and more about our program.
You can refer them over. That's perfect.
Yeah.
Someone out there might be watching this who's struggling to lose weight, what advice would you give them outside of like joining the program and whatnot, but any like practical advice that you can give?
Number one is figure out what your excuse is for not doing it. So much of this is mental. I was at my low point. I was so tired of just feeling bad. And I think you'll hear a lot of people in our program is you got to put yourself first, put my health first over everything else. And that's what I decided you had to do. And, don't hesitate. You got to jump in with both feet. Like with the program, I went through all the modules in the first week and a half, 2 weeks. And, now I go back here and there just to review some of them. And, you got to go all in.
Yeah, agreed. Agreed.
Both
Too many
feet.
gamblers. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, Kevin. I appreciate it a ton.
Yeah.
You can keep
all
crushing.
right.
Let's go.
Keep crushing it.
All right. So clearly, Kevin got some awesome results in our program. I wanted to invite you to the opportunity to run through a free 15-minute walkthrough session with myself. In this session, we can discuss how you can implement this in your unique lifestyle to get incredible fat loss results. And so if you're looking to do that, I will leave a link in the description. If you sign up for that, you're also gonna get a pretty cool bonus on the way. And the truth is, most of my time is spent with my clients and with producing content like this. And so I can only offer a limited amount of these a week. So we got 5 to 10 every single week. So if you're looking for a slot, make sure you go down below in that link. But with that being said, thank you so much for watching. And of course, as always, make sure to eat smart, move more, sleep deep, and be grateful for this moment. I'll see you in the next video.